Good afternoon, my dear students. In Unit 2 solutions, we have discussed earlier solute, solvent, solution, different type of solutions, and we have discussed methods of concentration, or we call as a unit of concentration. So, in units of concentration, we have a mass percentage which represent the amount of solute in grams in 100 gram solution. Then we have a percentage by volume, so amount of solute in grams in 100 ml solution. Then amount of solute in ml in 100 ml solution. Then we have discussed molarity, so amount of solute in moles in 1000 ml or 1 liter solution is called molarity. Then amount of solute in gram equivalents in 1 liter is called normality, and amount of solute in moles or in gram moles in 1000 gram solvent is called molality. Then amount of solute in milligrams in 1 liter or 1000 ml solution is called parts per million, and ratio of mole and total mole is called mole fraction. So hope that all these methods are clear in your mind, and also I had given some numericals for homework, so you have completed, and if any doubt you can ask me, you can call me at any time. Now today we'll start with the topic called solubility. So what is the solubility? So you can see in the word that ability shows the capacity. So different solvent have a capacity of dissolving different amount of solute in it. Earlier we have seen that like dissolve like. So those who likes more, they will dissolve more. So strong interaction is possible when they have a strong attractions. So more attractions, then more chances of dissolving the substance then. So solubility represents the maximum amount of solute dissolved in a given amount of solvent is called solubility. Concentration and solubility both have a same meaning. Concentration represents the amount of solute, solubility also represents the amount of solute, but the difference is that the solubility shows the maximum amount of solute, where concentration shows any amount, lower, less amount, more amount, moderate amount, so and maximum amount. That all can be represented by concentration. So when it is a maximum concentration, then it is a solubility. So solubility is a concentration, but every time concentration you cannot say as a solubility. Hope that this is clear in your mind. So concentration and solubility are same thing, but maximum concentration, in other way, amount of solute in saturated solution is called solubility. So here we will discuss two different solutions. You know that 9 type of solutions we have. Now we'll discuss about the solid solution. So in solid solution, solute is solid, liquid and gas. But we'll discuss about the solid solution, that is alloys, ornaments. So when the solute and solvent are mixed to make a solution, if the size of the solute and solvent are same, then when solute molecules entered in the solvent, as the size are equal, then some of the solvent molecule has to leave the structure and solute will join instead of them. So this is called a substitutional solid solution. Brass, bronze, stainless steel, different alloys belongs to substitutional solid solution. So when the volume of the solute and solvent are same or almost same, then this kind of solution will be there. Then second is uh, when uh, solute um, and solvent have a different size. So solute are bit smaller than the solvent. Then when we consider the solvent molecule as a spherical, and they are in a mutual contact, and when they are in mutual contact, and I will show you on the board. So this one sphere, that is a atom. So in this way, atoms of solids are in a mutual contact and arranged in this way. Now, when the solute is, this is a, suppose a solvent atoms. Now this is a solute atoms. So solute atoms are also of equal size. So when they have to approach here, then they have to leave it there, and then the few solute molecules will join. So this kind of solution is called substituted solid solutions. Now, when the size of the solute particles are very small, now suppose this is a solvent molecules. Now when they are in mutual contact, now this is the space formed here. This is called void, or a, you may call as a hole or an interstice. Now this is a one solvent atoms. Now suppose the solutes are very small, like this size. So when solute is small and the size of the solute is much smaller than the interstice, so they can easily place into the interstice. Now this time no need to remove the solvent molecules there. So when solute entered in interstice or hole or a void and the solution is formed, it is called interstitial solid solution. INTERSTITIAL, interstitial solid solution. Because the solute are entered in interstice. So this is suppose a tungsten metal. Tungsten in other language it is called wolfram. So its symbol is W, and this is the solute particles are carbon. So there is a solution of tungsten and carbon. It is called tungsten carbide. This is belongs to interstitial solid solution. So alloys are of substitutional solid solution, and tungsten carbide is a interstitial solid solutions. Now another example we'll discuss, that we take a example of solute solid and liquid solvent. So when solute solid is dissolved in liquid solvent, what about the solubility? So when we want to dissolve the maximum solute or more solute, then it is called solubility. Solubility depends on three factors: temperature, pressure, and nature of solute and solvent. If the more attraction is there, they dissolve easily. Now, in terms of temperature, we will discuss that when you know now that suppose you have a 2 glass of milk, if with an equal volume. Now one is cold and other is hot. Now in this milk we are going to add sugar. So when you put sugar in both, naturally we have observed that in hot milk more solute will dissolve compared to that cold milk. So it means that in hot milk more solubility is there, more sugar is dissolved. So it means what? That solubility depends on the temperature. So temperature increases, solubility increases. So at higher temperature, when solute solid and liquid solvent, you can dissolve more solute. But this is not for all 9 type of solutions. When solute is gas and solvent is liquid, the solubility will decreases with the increase in the temperature. So when you apply high temperature, then gas will not dissolve more. So solubility of solid and liquid solutions increases with increase in the temperature, and solubility of gas in liquid is decreases with increase in the temperature. But we'll discuss about the our main topic is solubility of gaseous solute in a liquid solvent. So what we have to do, so take a equal volume of water. Suppose in this way we have 3 beakers. Now in this equal volume is used. So volume equal. Now same solvent we will add. Suppose in water will pass chlorine gas. In all 3 chlorine gas will form. We'll keep the temperature constant. So by keeping temperature constant, same solute and solvent, and but what we'll do that here suppose 1 atmospheric pressure is used, here 2 atmospheric and 3 atmospheric. So pressure is different, and it is observed that in high pressure the gas dissolved will be more. So this means that solubility of a gaseous solute in a liquid solvent is increases with the increase in the pressure. So you want to dissolve gas more, then you have to apply high pressure. So this is called Henry's law. So Henry is a person, he has given this law. So what is Henry's law then? At constant temperature, solubility of gaseous solute in liquid solvent is increases with increase in the pressure. So this is called Henry's law, and he has established the relation P is proportional to X. X is a solubility, and you want to show equal, then P equal to KH into X. So this is very important formula for us. This is called Henry's law. P is pressure, X is solubility in terms of mole fraction, and KH is called Henry's constant. So what is the Henry's law? At constant temperature, solubility of gaseous solute in liquid solvent is increases with increase in the pressure. Means solubility is directly proportional to applied pressure. Now this law is applicable in when scuba divers are using the in a cylinder, they have to take the oxygens when they go down under sea water. When they go down, the oxygen is decreases, so they have to get the oxygen cylinder. Now in old days they are keeping a mixture of oxygen and nitrogen. Now when they go down under the water, the for breathing and taking more oxygen, they have to apply the high pressure. So then the more oxygen will dissolve in their body and they get a proper oxygen. And when they comes out on the surfaces, so on the surfaces the pressure is low. So whatever gas they have dissolved in their blood, that as the pressure decreases, when they comes on the surface, the pressure is decreases. So as a result, the gas which is dissolved will comes out from it, and here the gas is nitrogen, and this nitrogen is creating a problem. It is called bend. So because of due to bend, there may be a death. So to avoid this, now they are filling the mixture of not oxygen and nitrogen only, but they have added helium also. So helium is being lighter gas. So when they comes on the surface, the helium will dissolve. Helium will comes out, and helium will not create any pressure. So they have applied the composition, that oxygen has a 32.1. So you know that molecular mass of oxygen is 32. So 32.1% oxygen. Now nitrogen is a molecular mass 28. So here you have to double the molecular mass. So nitrogen percentage will be 56 and double the 0.1, so as a 0.2. So the oxygen content is 32.1 percentage, nitrogen is 56.2 percentage, and the remain will be helium. So from this total 100, subtract this from 100, so then you get 11.7. So this is also a very important question, that oxygen is 32.1%, helium is 11.7%, and nitrogen is 56.2%. So this is another very much, this is very useful for us. Then when we take a breathing, so at high pressure we are taking breathing, so that air oxygen goes in our body and the solution of oxygen is formed with the blood. So in the blood hemoglobin is there. So when we take oxygen at high pressure, or when we breathe at high pressure, oxygen will goes in our body, and as a result more oxygen will result in blood, and which is helpful for us. And in inside body the pressure is low, so the oxygen which is dissolved, as the low pressure solubility decreases, so oxygen will comes out from the hemoglobin, and that oxygen will circulate in our body. And so here there is indirectly there is a application of Henry's law. And at high altitude when we go, the pressure is decreases, and so it creates a problem, because oxygen is less at high altitude. So in that also we have to use it. So we have to keep oxygen cylinder or like that. So these are application of Henry's law. So hope that you have followed the Henry's law. I will put the notes, you prepare it, and also I put the videos from YouTube. So one video in which many topics are there. In the second one, only related to Henry's law topic is there. So in terms of your liking, prepare it, and I'll give you the notes as well as the exercise numericals, that in next lecture we will discuss that numericals. Hope you people are enjoying, and any doubt you can ask me. You can call me or you can write on my mobile. Thank you very much.